Hi, everybody. I am talking to you today about my Hay House You Can Heal Your Life Summit talk. I'm looking at my face here and seeing we don't have a lot of light on the subject. This is our first sunny day in about a month here in Maine. I'm hoping that that this weather will kill the brown-tailed moths that are living in all my oak trees at my house. But anyway, I want to tell you about growing beyond the model of your body as a machine. Your body is a living, breathing manifestation of your consciousness. Mike Dooley says it beautifully. He says, "We are the eyes and ears of God. Thoughts become things. Choose the good ones. And then take some action so that God can work through you or your soul or whatever you want to call it." Now, my profession that I'm board certified in OBGYN, does not really believe any of this. I mean, it's not part of the training. It ought to be part of the training, but it isn't. So what happens is you're all taught to be afraid, be very afraid. I sometimes describe women's health as we haven't found it yet, but keep coming back because we will. So what we call medical care is disease screening. It's not creating health, it's just disease screening. And so, when someone comes up and they say, well, I've been to my doctor and I was given a clean bill of health, that's limited in meaning. It's very limited in meaning. Because how many people have you known, they went and got a clean bill of health and then the next day they died of a heart attack or whatever it is. So I don't personally go to a doctor every year, an MD or a DO. I don't do it. So I want to give you my health care and that of my like-minded colleagues. So I get massage regularly. It feels good. It also increases beta endorphin and nitric oxide in the body, and it keeps you healthy. Most of you have been raised to be afraid. So you go in, every year to get a mammogram, let's say. Mammograms are a type of test that I have known for 25 years, was not anything I ever wanted to participate in. And in my Hay House World Summit talk, which some of you have heard, but I would love it if you would listen. I did it with Dr. Kelly Brogan, my colleague, and it's available free on the Hay House You Can Heal Your Life Summit. And there's a link that I posted. I was having trouble with my phone, so I just posted the link before we started. But this is me talking about how you can get beyond that model so you begin to trust your inner wisdom. Most of us are taught to not trust our inner wisdom starting before birth. How are we taught not to trust it? Well, we're taught not to trust it by the fact that we are increasingly giving newborns, worse, pregnant women, vaccines. What? I mean, the neurotoxins in vaccines that go right into a fetal brain are astounding to me. The hepatitis B given to 99% of newborns in this country. Why? If you just look at the science, there's no science for that. Like, there is no science unless you have hepatitis B, or unless your baby is having sex with prostitutes, or your baby is sharing dirty needles with other addicts. Okay? Is that happening to your baby? If you have hepatitis B, that can be tested beforehand, and then, yes, the baby should get an immunization, but not 99% of newborns. Why are we doing that? Okay? See, and what I want to shore up in you is your, case with dentists is the same. Yeah, they scare you. Right. I don't get those dental x-rays when they tell me to. I get them every now and again. I sort of like, when the pendulum tells me to do it. My dad was a dentist. I know there's a place for dental x-rays, but not all the time. We need to start looking at what is a profit center for a medical system. Let me read, Amy, what you said. Went once, they said do 3 of them, came back and 12, but then they sent whatever. I can't quite understand what you're saying here, but here's what happens. If you get a mammogram every year for 10 years, like you're supposed to, you will have a 100% chance of having a biopsy. And the vast majority of biopsies are negative. Or you will be diagnosed with ductal carcinoma in situ, which is not cancer. They call it stage 0 cancer. The name needs to be changed to idle, independent, indeterminate lesion of indeterminate significance. They scare you to death. So I would stay away if I were you. Now, what's happening, and this is all happening, within my lifetime in my career, I'm getting calls now at home, to go in, to have somebody come to my house to do blood pressure and blood work and, all of that stuff in my house. Why? That is a profit center for somebody. MedX, I don't know who it is. They are not coming to my house. They are not going to get me into a system that I don't want to be part of. So what would be something that I would recommend that you do? Okay, let me give you some ideas. A fasting insulin test, a vitamin D test to see how much vitamin D you have in your blood. The dermatologists have scared people to death of the sun. What is responsible for all life on planet Earth? The sun. You're taught to be afraid of it. What does the sun do? It improves immunity. This is talking getting sun but not burning, all right? Getting sun during the early hours, or, not high noonday sun, not baking. You ever been to a tanning booth and seeing those people addicted to tanning? That's a different issue, okay? And their skin looks like leather. That's a different issue. We're talking a little sun bath, 5-10 minutes, and then you'll get enough vitamin D, but you get more than that. It increases your testosterone if you're a man and if you're a woman. That's the sort of the zoom hormone. And that's medicine from the sun. What else could you do? See, I don't want to just scare you. I want to give you some things. Standing on the earth, barefoot, on the ground, on the grass, on the pine needles, 20 minutes. Decreases cellular inflammation by 20%. Pretty cool, right? Statins. Yes, statins are handed out like candy. Oh, and regularly, the American Heart Association, which is brought to you by Big Pharma, just like the rest of all these associations, has lowered the level of cholesterol that they consider, okay, you should get it below this, right? Because if you don't have it below this, you need a statin. Do you see how that works? Okay, so we now are going to lower, just like we're going to lower what is a healthy blood pressure so that you will take more blood pressure medication. We're going to lower the standard cholesterol so that you will take more statins. And when you go to the doctor, what are the statin risks? Well, an increased risk of breast cancer, that's fun, because it decreases the pathways for coenzyme Q10, which is absolutely necessary for the mitochondrial function of your heart and your brain. Those are the cellular engines of energy in your body. I was once at the wonderful San Aviv hospital down in Rosaritas, Mexico, and there was someone there who had total muscle aching, myositis it's called, from statins. And he was trying to reverse it. So statins are causing, okay, so I want you to, I don't know if I covered this in the lecture with Kelly, but there's this thing you should know. Number needed to treat, number needed to harm, all right? So for statins, the number needed to treat for one person to get a benefit, because someone will, okay, but the number needed for one person to get a benefit is 100. What's the number needed to harm? 1 in 10. 1 in 10. That means 10 times as many people will have a problem from the statins as will be helped. With mammograms, it's one person will be helped and about 360 will be messed up with a biopsy they didn't need. And the anxiety that goes with being told you have something growing in your body that you can't do anything about. So I, I, I want you to get this. Oh, this is coming into my head, so I'm going to tell you. So if you have a parent who doesn't get this, and many of you do, don't try to convince them, because there's a certain generation, the World War II generation, and way too many baby boomers, in my opinion, who sort of didn't get it when we went through this in the 60s and 70s and said, don't trust anyone over 30. But anyhow, they've kind of drunk the Kool-Aid, which is unfortunate. But those of you who were brought up to think that doctors are God and that what the doctor says should take precedent over what you know inside, I would like you to understand that you have inner wisdom and you have a relationship with this inner wisdom. When you go in and you meet with a medical professional who's a real healer, it feels incredible. I mean, I've just been through with a loved one. I've just been through cervical neck spine surgery and a knee replacement. And when it's good, it's good. Here's someone, haven't had a mammogram. Okay, go, Robin. Haven't had a mammogram for at least 10 years. Won't do it. I personally have never had one. Okay. Oh, Chris, how cool. I didn't know that you do live videos. Well, I do them every now and again. I'm not that kind of parent. I've been against doctor and pharma for decades. Yes, and now what do we have? Nationwide, this army of darkness. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I don't know if any of you watch Game of Thrones. It's way too violent for me. But I have been told by listening to one of the people I really respect, Del Bigtree, that the Game of Thrones currently, which I think they're in their final whatever, is there some kind of army of death that people are rising up to fight against? Okay, in my opinion, the army of death is Big Pharma and mainstream medicine and all of that stuff. Oh, here, I've had problems with vitamin D. It's low from the doctors and have problems with, okay, so here's the question that I would ask you about vitamin D. I want you to all get your levels checked. A very good website for vitamin D is grassrootshealth.net, okay? Grassrootshealth.net. Oh, and while I'm doing this little, daytime clinic, please remember to sign up for the Hay House You Can Heal Your Life Summit, because you're going to be hearing many, many people like me. It's all free, and the link is in the description. Hi from Sweden. I've been watching some Swedish movies. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, love them. Anyway, so I want you to make sure that you sign up for the summit, because elevated cognition and exalted emotions are part of how you create health. And you're going to get a lot of that in this summit. And remember, everybody, before I get back to vitamin D, this is all Hay House, and this summit and all of it was started by Louise Hay, a high school dropout. She left home at the age of 13. She was brutalized by her stepfather. Left home to get away from him when she was 13, moved to Chicago. She was good looking. She became a model in New York. She got cervical cancer. She healed it through affirmations and dietary change. She was married to the man of her dreams. He then asked her for a divorce. It was devastating to her. And she said, he made me Louise Hay. So, wow, right? So Louise Hay started Hay House. And so this whole You Can Heal Your Life Summit is based on the courage and the soul qualities of one woman who started the company when she was 60. So let's hear it for ageism. Someone says, I miss Louise. Yeah, but please remember, Louise is with me right now. Lulu, by the way, Lulu's my grandmother name. My middle name is Louise, so I told my kids to have me called Lulu, which I really like. I just heard from Germany. Germany is making measles vaccinations compulsory. Yeah, this is a really not a good idea. I have some ideas about this, but that's the army of darkness, okay? Did you have measles? I had measles. What does measles do if you're healthy? It actually trains your immune system, same with chickenpox, and probably same with, any germ that you come in contact with, trains your immune system so that later there's a decreased risk of cancer. We're seeing in the United States, 54% of children have a chronic disease. Ever since we started, we tripled the vaccination schedule. Now we have 54% of kids with ADHD, asthma, allergies, peanut allergies. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I want you to tune in to the inner guidance here and just say no. I mean, come on. Our elected officials are elected by who? By us. Out in Oregon, out in California, here in Maine, thousands of people are standing up for their right to bodily integrity, okay? Thousands. It is a movement of the light rising. We have Pluto and Saturn have stationed now, so it's bringing up something that is kind of your obsession. And in my case, the obsession is bodily integrity. I have said very recently, and I don't know where it is in your life, your obsession. My obsession has been women going down the path of unnecessary medical treatment. So I've been on the soapbox for not having way too many C-sections. I was a resident when fetal monitoring came in to the United States, and suddenly the C-section rate soared to 25% because no one knew how to read the monitor. And then it's gone up to 30%, and in some countries it's up to 90%. And by the way, I just have to say this, in the mainstream medical literature, we have not found one single study that shows that fetal monitoring improves outcome. Not one. Not one. But there's a monitor in every laboring woman. You can't get away from it. Do you know what does improve outcome? Having a doula, a woman standing by. A woman standing by with another woman. This study was done 6 different times by Marshall Klaus and his colleague, and they found that it decreased laboring time by 4, 5, 6 hours and decreased the C-section rate. Yes, can you get your C-section? Yes, your vitamin D. Okay, let me finish the C-section. It decreased the C-section rate by 50%. Just having a person standing there kind of loving on you. That's it. That's that human to human thing. There's no drug, there's no monitor that can take the place of that. But what the fetal monitor has done, in my opinion, to almost every laboring woman, is to take her out of herself so that you walk into the room and you say, how are you doing? And she and her significant other look at the monitor to find out how they're doing. How about going in? Okay, grassrootshealth.net has vitamin D test kits. You can test at home, so you don't have to go to a doctor. I am a big fan. I think it's Dave Asprey and his Bulletproof Radio. There are labs now where you can go in and monitor yourself with things like insulin levels, vitamin D levels, things that you should be checking, so you don't have to go through the middleman. And increasingly, as far as I can tell, the middleman is a doctor working for Big Pharma. I'm getting a little fierce because this is part of my obsession. So it was unnecessary C-sections, it's been circumcision, it's been vitamin D, it's currently, oh good, I had a doula, certified nurse midwife, to deliver 2 babies at home. Yes, bless you. See, this is, now, not everyone can deliver at home. Things happen, and then the hospital is a godsend, and that's wonderful. So please remember, everybody, I'm here to get you to tune in to that thing that Louise Hay tuned into years ago when there was no support for what she was doing. I mean, she created this revolution on her own. had a New York Times bestseller, You Can Heal Your Life, and was on Oprah and Phil Donahue, which many of you don't even remember, in the same week. And the book became a #1 New York Times bestseller. And then she started Hay House with this self-published book. And that's why I am here today, bringing this to you. So remember to sign up for the You Can Heal Your Life Summit to hear a lot of lectures like mine. Kelly Brogan, my colleague, she's dedicating her life to getting women off psych meds. Way too many people are put on psych meds, and there's so much else that you can do. You know, meditation, standing on the ground, getting your vitamin D levels up, all kinds of things. Let's see what else we've got. Postmenopausal, vegan for 12 years, don't need to take, right. Do you watch Call the Midwife? Oh my God, Call the Midwife makes me weep. It's so beautiful. Okay, husband 37, high blood pressure. You know what I would do is try more magnesium. And let me give you my favorite kind of magnesium. And it is Remag and Remite minerals, formulated by Dr. Carolyn Dean. And you go to rnareset.com, rnareset.com. I am not associated with that in any way, profit-wise. Okay, then that's rnareset.com. That's for magnesium, which everyone needs more of. You introduced me to the Uranus opposition. Comment on that as well. Okay, so this is fun. Everyone has a Uranus opposition, which means in your natal chart, it comes around to be opposite of when you were born. It's about age 42 for everybody, men and women. And it signifies your soul saying, what about me? What about me? Menopause help, please. Let me give you the menopause help. I would read my book, The Wisdom of Menopause, at least the first 5 chapters. And then I formulated a magnificent supplement with an herb from Thailand called Pueraria mirifica. I just went over there to visit the plants, and they're grown right near that cave where the 13 boys were rescued. And it's so interesting. I sat there in the jungle area and I began to thank the plant, and I was so moved. I could barely finish the prayer. I was there with the people who harvest. And anyway, the website is Amata, A-M-A-T-A, life.com, amatalife.com. It's a wonderful herbal supplement that helps so many women with a perimenopausal transition, but there's so much else you can do. So just... okay. Yeah, 42. Yeah, about time we start to wake up. So at age 42, your soul goes, wait, what about me? And you need to begin to live from a life that's driven by your interior life, what you know, what you feel, not what the culture is telling us. So isn't it interesting that this is being brought to you? You're hearing me because of social media, right? Because of Facebook Live, which is an incredible vehicle for connecting. At the same time, it's an incredible vehicle for separating people. Separating over on my, well, here we are on my page. You will notice that I curate it because I do not want this to be a place. Okay, so in my backyard, if my neighbors came over and they had their dogs do their business on my lawn, I would not tolerate that. I'd say, you got to clean up after your dog. Same with my page. I don't tolerate anything but civil discourse. You can disagree with me, and that's fine. But I don't tolerate, here's what I have gotten. I'm so disappointed in you. You are dangerous. I'm unfollowing you. I am really dangerous. I am dangerous to the army of darkness that is trying to control you and that lives off your anger and fear and has kept humanity in slavery for the past 5,000 years. I'm dangerous to that group. Ha. So anyway, how can we use social media to promote unity? But you're listening to me. We're promoting unity. And you know what? And guess what? I also wrote a book called Dodging Energy Vampires, because 1 in 5 people has a personality disorder. And they're not going to like you no matter what. You can't please them. Stop trying, okay? Okay, will I ever come to Vancouver? I was in Vancouver. I love Vancouver. I love your airport. Oh, bowel bloat caused from a hysterectomy. Yeah, that could well be from some adhesions. So I would do some abdominal massage work. There's all kinds of stuff. I've talked about that in my book, Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom. You are dangerous. Yes, I am. Anyway, there's so many things that I could tell you about, but what I'm really here to do today is to tell you about the Hay House You Can Heal Your Life Summit. And in the link that I have posted, and I'll probably, go back, maybe give you an actual description of what I'm talking about. You are listening to me talk about how to view your body as what it really is, a wonderful manifestation of your consciousness. I also wrote Goddesses Never Age, because I wanted you to know that what you've been taught about getting older is also wrong. Okay? So, what they don't tell you is it's women in their 60s and 70s having the best sex of their lives. They don't tell you that, right? They tell you things like after the age of 40, the chance of you finding the man or woman of your dreams is the same as, getting killed by a terrorist. This is all how the army of darkness works to keep you stuck. So, don't believe them. Remember, I'm going to just quote my friend Mike Dooley. Okay, you are the eyes and ears of God, and you're the vehicle for which that's how we're created. God comes through you as you. You have the ability to heal just about anything. Yeah, there's karma and samskara, and there's all of that. And you have to take some action. So right now, the action you're taking is you're watching me. But the action I also want you to take is to sign up for the Hay House You Can Heal Your Life Summit, and then listen to the people like me. I'm part of the Hay House family. Louise really did believe in family. And we are like-minded people. We're kind of the army of the light, as it were, rising up now. So I want you to somehow maybe admit that you're powerless over your need for routine medical care and the reassurance that you're okay, that you need to get from some doctor. By the way, my opinion of well baby care is just well baby care, the way it's done in this country, is just indoctrinating people into the medical system so that you can be a customer of Big Pharma for life. Anyway, go to the link in this description. I think the description is the link. And listen to me and all of my colleagues. Because right now, with Saturn and Pluto have stationed, and the South Node is things are going away. Things are going away that need to go away. So don't read the news. The news is brought to you, as far as I can tell, by the army of darkness most all the time. Pay attention to yourself. Listen to people like me so you won't be scared all the time. Know what your potential is, your ability to heal. Do affirmations. There's all kinds of information to help you on that path. And you'll get it by signing up for the You Can Heal Your Life Summit. Okay, so vitamin D levels should be from 40 to 80. Those with the highest vitamin D levels have the lowest risk of heart disease, multiple sclerosis, breast cancer. You feel better. Vitamin D is a hormone and a vitamin. Grassrootshealth.net. I love this site. It was started by a woman who looked at all the vitamin D research and she said, I don't want to wait 17 years for this to make the mainstream. I'm going to help people now. So she has interviewed the best vitamin D researchers from all over the planet. By the way, it takes 17 years from the time something is found that could help you for it to get into the mainstream, for your doctor to tell you about it. And frankly, if it's not a drug, your doctor's probably, if it's a standard conventional MD, your doctor's not going to tell you about it. But increasingly, there's all kinds of my colleagues who are really getting on the right train. Functional medicine, homeopathy, massage. Again, I'm all about health. So thank you for listening today. And hopefully I'll see you in the comments on the You Can Heal Your Life Summit. Okay, bye-bye for now.